know what? I want to share one Bible verse with you this morning. One Bible verse. From 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 50. So David triumphed over the Philistine with a sling and a stone. Without a sword in his hand, he struck down the Philistine and killed him. With a sling and a stone. Without a sword, he struck down the giant. Oh, we have those stories, don't we? The seas were angry that day, my friend. The seas were angry. Like an old man trying to return soup in a deli, the seas were angry. It was the summer of 2003. Suzanne and I had been married for about 10 years. We went to the greatest amusement park on the face of the planet, Cedar Point in northern Ohio. If you're familiar with it. So my oldest daughter at this point was probably somewhere around 6 years of age. My youngest daughter was probably 4. Suzanne and I had not been out on just a night for just the two of us for 6+ years at this point. We went up to Ohio to visit my mom and dad. My mom and dad graciously were watching our children for a couple of nights. We got into a 24-foot boat, and we traveled several hours by water, and we docked at Cedar Point. We had a blast. It was a great weekend. The morning that we were leaving, we stowed all of our gear. We had everything ready. We were going, like I said, it was several hours trip by open water. We left the port. It was sunny outside. It was gorgeous out there. But if you're familiar with Lake Erie, it is a very shallow lake. And oftentimes you can see the storms coming. And in this day, I did. I could see the storm out there, but we were going the opposite direction. I thought for sure we would be able to beat it. Well, guess what? I didn't beat it. Before you knew it, the storm overtook us. Lake Erie kicks up large waves very quickly. I bet we were in 6 to 8 foot seas in a matter of no time. And you can tell that is Lake Erie by the beautiful crystal blue waters of Lake Erie right there. And so we were out there, and I'm one of those guys, I'll push through, right? Oh, no, I can handle this. We're in a 24-foot boat. We should be able to handle 8-foot seas. And so, it's like, yeah, that's a joke. And so we were like pushing through, and I finally said, nah, I can't do it. And so we beelined for the closest port available, which was Vermilion, right there on the edge of Lake Erie, right? And so we pulled into port. I called my mom and dad to come and get us, and they drove over an hour to come pick us up. When my dad got there, same kind of attitude I have, was like, no, we can do this. We can push through. And I said, Dad, we can't. He's like, yes, we can, Dad, we can't. Yes, we can. And so we went out again. He turned around immediately and came back because he realized I was speaking the truth. But you know what? I can tell you that story right now because we know the ending, right? But that could have had a very different ending. It could have been a whole different ending than what we experienced. Now, I'm one of those guys, when I hear a story, I don't need all the details. All I want to know is the answer. How does the story end, or what is the answer? So like, if one of the staff members goes to a meeting, I don't need to hear, then so-and-so said this, and so-and-so said that, and so-and-so did this. No, I just want to know what the answer is. Just give me, and especially if it's a negative story. If this is a negative story, I don't want to hear all the details. Just cut to the chase. I need to know, how does the story end? And once I have the ending, once I know how the story ends, well, then go ahead and fill in the rest of the details. Then you can fill in what you had for breakfast and how the eggs were on sale at Publix and everything that went wrong that day. But give me the end of the story first. Have you ever noticed there's some things in our life, there's some things in your life that could have had a whole different ending? Just this last week, one of our members posted how their high school graduate was in a significant car accident on 275. She walked away fine. Everything was okay except for the car, but it could have been a whole different ending, right? Or back when you were in college at the sorority or the fraternity, go Delts. Some of the stupid things you did, it could have been a whole different ending, couldn't it? Or back when you were younger and you got behind the wheel when you should have never have gotten behind the wheel, if the police would have pulled you over at just the right time, if you were in the wrong place at the wrong time, it could have been a whole different ending. It's not that you didn't do anything wrong. You just didn't get caught. And if you would have gotten caught, once again, it would have been a whole different ending, wasn't it? And I know some of you out there thinking, yeah, you go ahead and polish your halos, right? But the truth is, you just didn't get caught. And I know some of you are out there thinking right now too, Pastor, of all the stories Of all the lessons that you could be teaching in the scripture, why in the world would you pick David and Goliath? Right? I mean, because you all know the story, right? I mean, when you were kids, they showed it to you on video, or you had flannel graphs. Remember the old flannel graphs? I mean, we know how the story of David and Goliath ends. We know that this little young whippersnapper, 15, 16 years of age, faced off against a mighty warrior, 9'9". He wore 125 pounds of armor. The tip on his spear was 15 pounds. He was a warrior since youth. And David, a little shepherd boy, with a sling and 5 stones, without a sword in his hand, went out and faced against this mighty giant. But we all know the end of the story. We've heard it since we were young children. But I want to maintain this. David never read 1 Samuel 17, verse 50. We can shout with victory. We can shout with excitement because we know the end of the story. We know David was victorious, but I'll maintain David shook. I bet he was shaking in his sandals. Oh yeah, he had faith. He trusted in the Lord. But I would venture to say, as David was facing that giant, he may have been wondering, I wonder how this is going to end.